Violence in Toronto high schools is in the news again. So to begin, let's state the obvious. There's always going to be violence in schools because schools reflect the broader society. And if there are murders and sexual assaults and physical assaults and vandalism and bullying in society as there is, that it's also going to happen in schools. That's not surprising. But what is surprising and alarming is how the Toronto District School Board has for years downplayed and ignored this problem. How do we know that? Well, in 2008, a year after one of its students, a grade 9, 15-year-old student, was shot to death in a high school in a case that's never been resolved, the board commissioned an independent study to look at its activities in terms of abating school violence. And what that report came out with was a conclusion that there was a community of silence and fear in the school board. In other words, teachers who were trying to combat school violence felt that not only were they not supported by the board and the senior bureaucrats in that board, but they feared political reprisals and career derailment if they brought it up because the board just didn't want to hear about it. And so that report makes a variety of recommendations about what to do. So what happens? Well, in 2015, there's another report, this one from the provincial government, assessing the Toronto School Board. And believe it or not, it says at that time that the relationship between the school and the teachers and the school staff and the board and the administrators was even worse. And it repeated this thing of a culture of fear within the system. And that wasn't only about reporting school violence, that was about everything. So, okay, bad enough that they don't do things that their own studies tell them to do to reduce violence. But it's worse than that. The Toronto District School Board in 2017 dismantled a program that was working. That program was developed by the board and the then police chief Bill Blair in 2008, the year after that student was shot to death in the schools, and it had police officers actually working in the schools, becoming part of the school community, talking to students, destroying stereotypes about what the police wanted to do, and also, helping the police understand the student population better. Okay, so the board itself does a survey of that in 2017, and it finds overwhelming support amongst parents, teachers, and students for the program, and believing it should continue. What did the board do? It killed the program because they quoted a few minority students and others who felt threatened by the police officer, even though the police officer wasn't there to threaten anybody, nor did they. And that's the problem with this board. It not only doesn't act on its own recommendations to reduce violence in schools, it scraps programs that are working. And I don't think it's going to change with this board because they'll never go back to programs like the community school police liaison, because that would prove they made a mistake. I'm Lorrie Goldstein of Sun Media. We're always interested in hearing your views, and please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube channel.